What's going on, guys? So we got to talk about Lanterns. The first teaser trailer for the Lantern series that's supposed to be coming out this summer was released a few days ago, and I have some concerns. Now, I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, right? And among all the DCU stuff they have coming out, this is probably the one I want to succeed the most. The Green Lantern lore is so hefty that, I've said this a couple times. DC could run a pretty good cinematic universe just off the Green Lanterns alone, so I actually want this to be good. With that being said, let's talk about this costume. Now, I know everyone is dogpiling and saying this costume is terrible, but hear me out for a second. If you go back to the announcement of the Lantern series when they were making all the other announcements for the DCU, this was the image they used. So we can assume that this story is going to be pulling elements from the Green Lantern Earth 1 story. In that story, Hal Jordan had a spacesuit, and once he found the Green Lantern ring, it transformed the suit in the story. If you pay attention to the trailer, you'll notice that there's more suits hung up in the closet, and if you look closely, there's actually another suit that looks like it's been transformed by the Lantern ring as well. So if this is really going to be based on Green Lantern Earth 1, it would make sense that this is a regular suit that was transformed by the ring, and not the classic Green Lantern costume that comes from inside the ring. Now, let's talk about Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So from what I can tell, it looks like it's going to be an origin story for John Stewart, and Hal is going to be like the OG who's training him as the new Green Lantern, which would explain why they got someone so old to play Hal Jordan, which it's kind of a bummer because we're not going to get to see prime Hal Jordan, but it is what it is. Now, John Stewart is supposed to be a marine/architect in this series. The architect part is the most crucial because that's the whole reason he's such a good Green Lantern. Him being a marine is something they got from the animated series, and then they made it canon in the comic books, so that's not really that big of a deal. But him being an architect is the most important part. So Hal is supposed to be training John, and he has to prove himself, and this has gotten some people confused. Oh, why does John have to prove himself to Hal? Wrong. John is not proving himself to Hal, he's proving himself to the ring. He says in the trailer, you're not ready to get in front of the class until the ring says you are. Hal is just training him. That makes sense because the ring chooses the wearer, but it's usually done like right away. I guess since this is a TV show, they're gonna slow burn it in a way, so he kinda earns the ring over time. I actually don't have a problem with this. What I will say is when the ring does choose him, I hope it won't be the end of his training, like it'll add another layer of character development. Because like I said, John Stewart is a really good Green Lantern, but he didn't become that way overnight. At one point, John Stewart became so powerful he didn't even need a lantern ring to create constructs. I'm actually going to do another video on that. Now, this last bit of dialogue is a bit problematic. So first off, Hal Jordan says that he's the only human, which is kind of confusing because who the hell is this? They better have a good explanation for this because that makes no goddamn sense. And Nathan Fillion did say he was going to be in this series, so make it make sense, please. So he gets asked if he ever talks with the other Lanterns, and he says they're aliens. What did Hal Jordan mean by this? Because does he not talk to them because they're aliens, or does he not talk to them because he can't understand them? Both of these answers are bad, by the way. The alien Lanterns are some of Hal's greatest allies. They're actually the ones who trained him when he first became a Green Lantern. And the Green Lantern rings have a translator, which is how he communicates with the other Lanterns. I'm gonna give it the benefit and say maybe it's just a throwaway line used as a joke. Now, this is probably the only other real gripe I have with this teaser, as does everyone else. It's lacking color and light. When I look at this trailer, I don't get Green Lantern vibes. It's like there's no green light, no green constructs, no green aura, nothing. If I didn't know the title of this trailer, I wouldn't even know it's a Green Lantern trailer. I know they said it's supposed to be a true detective type series, but damn, a little green light wouldn't hurt. Say what you will about the old Green Lantern movie, but that movie had light, it had constructs, it had aura. People want to see that, right? Now, like I said, I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, so I want this to be good. So what I hope is maybe they're just holding back and the show will surprise us. Well, who knows? Anyway, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. What do you guys think about the teaser? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.